All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets here for Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks. Let's go in and get into it. All right, so the first taco is already out, and that's going to be Embiid for over his PRA of 36.5. As always, we are going to just be simply betting on the tacos, guys. No need to make it more difficult than it needs to be. Take advantage of the discounts. In the long term, it is going to pay off. And again, the strategy for betting on Taco Tuesday is if you're being limited to, let's say, $5 or $10, I would suggest just running out a 5 or 6 slip bet. If you are not being limited, let's say you are able to bet $25 or $30 per taco, what I would suggest doing is then, if let's say you are able to bet $25, do 5 individual bets with that, 2 slip bets as well. Take advantage of that discount. Take advantage of the free money that they're trying to toss out at you. Now, if you are being limited, just do the 5 or 6 slip bet, knowing that in the long term, that is eventually going to pay off there for you guys. And just to reiterate, obviously, props betting, it's always a long-term game. We could have a bad day today. We could have a great day. Okay, that doesn't really change the process here. We are trying to find the best bets possible each and every day, which again, in the long term will pay off. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and get into the top prop bets today. And so, guys, today we are actually getting a decent amount of college basketball prop bets, and I will be jumping into the NBA bets that we were getting, but I'll do that in the 9 to 5 NBA PrizePicks cheat sheet. So let's just go ahead and take a peek here at college basketball. And thankfully, we actually have a decent college basketball slate, although some of the projection data does not agree with some of the lines that we are getting. So Brendan Smith here, we're going to notice that the data for the average sportsbook line likes the under here at 37.5, whereas the projection data likes the over. Now, again, I do want to call it that with the projection data, those projections are somewhat based off of like DFS-based projections. If you guys are unfamiliar with that, with DFS, you are basically trying to chase more upside. So typically speaking, those are a little bit higher. We do tend to see that, but don't love the fact that it's showing us that he is favored for the over, whereas the average sportsbook line really likes the under there. And we look at the game log here for Smith. He has been someone that has been playing pretty darn well here. This is one of those ones where I probably do want to wait to see what the underdog line is here for this. Again, I don't know exactly when or even if we are going to get underdog fantasy score lines for college basketball. Typically speaking, that's like in the middle of the day, which typically comes out about an hour after I post these videos. So obviously, if underdog is higher, we could actually maybe end up betting the over here, but we would also then want to be betting the under then on underdog, because that would actually be the better bet on paper. And then we look at the next best bet that we have here. That's going to be Kobe Johnson for over his PRA. Pretty simple, guys. This one's a little bit too low compared to underdog, compared to the average sportsbook line. This is one that we should be using. And I do want to call it, guys, that for this bet is currently a popular bet right now. And why is it a popular bet? We know exactly why here, guys. It's because he's gotten the over in 5 straight games. It's always funny how that works out. People think that that's just like the number one way to bet. And I just want to reiterate that is not the case. If it was, betting would be simple and everyone would do that, right? And I honestly, like, for me, when it comes to NBA, it's like, oh, crap. When I see this, it's like, oh, he's due for a regression game. Like, obviously, Vegas is not that wrong, but PrizePicks' line right now does currently seem to be wrong compared to underdog and compared to the average sportsbook line, where they have it actually closer to 15.5. If this is still available, I do want to be betting on it. If it gets bumped to 15.5, don't be betting on that. It's pretty simple there. Then we go ahead and we touch on like Brendan Smith again. This is probably why we are seeing partially that his under fantasy score is somewhat favored there, because you look at his points and rebounds at 22.5, favored for the under pretty heavily. Ryan Kalkbrenner, guys, I freaking hate betting on him. Like him, Hunter Dickinson, and there's one more, Alex Caramban. Those 3 are just super annoying because one, underdog and PrizePicks typically have vastly different lines for them. And it's just like, all right, this is annoying because we just end up having to bet the middles. And for whatever reason, with those 3 specifically, and I'll highlight freaking Dickinson, we are getting a good bet on him as well. For whatever reason, whatever the data is saying is the best bet, whatever Vegas thinks is the best bet, it actually ends up happening where the opposite, the middle that we have, ends up hitting a little bit more. So in this instance, like Ryan Kalkbrenner, I could easily see him being at like, let's say 31. They'll be closer to what Vegas is thinking here with the average sportsbook line. And with that, we'd want to just be betting the middle of that one. Same thing with Hunter Dickinson. Like I bet the average sportsbook line, the underdog line for him comes out to be like 36. Then we're having to end up betting the middle. And again, with those 3, it's been annoying because the opposite seems to be hitting with those guys for whatever rhyme or reason. and it's just annoying there. But that just speaks to the volatility of college basketball sometimes, where a little bit more susceptible to get into foul trouble. Cold nights happen a little bit. It's just a little bit more random, obviously, because they're just not as talented as NBA players. But from there, guys, Nate Biddle for under his points and rebounds, decent bet there. Cam Jones, don't really want to mess with him, but it's because of projection data likes him to get 25, but that's another we could be betting. I am happy to get to Hunter Dickinson for over his fantasy score. That is seemingly going to be a good bet for us, but we're getting a decent amount of good bets. It does seem like we get a lot of decent points and rebounds prop bets for good edges. So like Jay Atkins for under his PR points rebounds, that's a decent one. We're getting a bunch of decent ones here, right? And so it's nice that we're getting this good amount, but at the same time, we are kind of forced to pick and choose which ones we want to go on. And again, if you can wait, maybe, except for Kobe Johnson, bet this one. If we can wait to see what the underdog lines are for the fantasy score ones, I think that's the best choice. And again, you guys can do that if you are a 9-to-5 member. If you guys have never signed up before, make sure to do so, guys. You can get the 9-to-5 membership for just $10 a month. Get the PrizePicks Underdog prop cheat sheets for $10 a month, as well as some fantasy golf tools. It is fully fantasy golf season, guys. Get all the tools on the site for $10 a month. But now we're going to go ahead here and jump on into the NBA. And in the NBA here, guys, we are getting some decent bets. We are looking at Miles Turner for under his fantasy score. This is a bet that's popping up as a decent prop bet. Projection day, it does like the over. That's the one concern there. But he's someone that does draw a more difficult matchup, so I'm fine with that one. Jalen Duren, he does draw a good matchup, but all the other data points are telling us to bet the under, so I don't mind that. Then Emmanuel Quickly for under his fantasy score. If you were to look at his game log, he has been consistently getting the under here. But again, guys, I do want to reiterate with the NBA right now, it's just more random. Okay, that just tends to happen right now during this portion of the NBA because of the trades. There's random rotations that are going on, and because of the NBA All-Star game coming up, players might be sitting out a little bit more to get a little bit more rest. You just see the rotations be a little bit different and less like it was throughout the majority of the season. Thus, it's more difficult for Vegas and even PrizePicks to give us lines. So we do see more varying results. It's more of a roller coaster line rather than the steady like upward trend for being on good prop bets. But that being said, we still got to be placing the best bets possible that we have each and every day. And really, if we can find bets that are stackable in the games, I would rather be doing that, which we don't have right now. We have 3 good NBA bets, and they're all in different games or different teams. So that's kind of the concern there. And so with that, guys, let's go ahead and get into the 9-to-5 bet of the day here for Taco Tuesday. These are the top 6 prop bets that we currently have on the slate today. Again, want to be seeing what the underdog lines are going to be for us as the day progresses, but these are all pretty solid prop bets, so take advantage of those ones here. That's going to be all for this video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Comment your guys' favorite prop bet as well. Thank you guys for being here. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.